GalaxyCon 2023. How are you? Are you ready for our next guest? He is an Emmy Award-winning actor with multiple credits, and we all pretty much know what they are. Raleigh GalaxyCon, please welcome Mr. Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
Welcome to Raleigh.
Very good to be here.
Oh, it's so good to have you here, sir. So glad to finally have you in person. We did the GalaxyCon virtual events a while back. I enjoyed that. Now we finally get to meet in person.
There you go.
There you go, indeed. First of all, how are you? How have you been?
I've been good. I've been working with a certain consistency, which I really appreciate, and my health is good.
Good. Yeah.
It's funny when you reach my age. I'm not trying to pull the age card here, but it's getting on. And so you wake up in the morning, and any little physical thing that doesn't seem quite 100% normal, it's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. And, it's the way it's okay.
All right. So glad to hear that. Mm-hmm. So I always ask this of all my actor guests, what drew you to acting? What pulled you into this?
I know that the example that I remember where something dawned on me, I was probably around 15 years old, 14 years old. And I was at a boarding school, boys' boarding school. And I was walking across a football field, just walking across, and there was some guys older than I who were kind of, the motherfuckers. Sorry, but it is what it is. Anyway, so and I was intimidated, that kind of chemistry going on as intimidating was to me. And I had to walk past these guys to get where I was going. And then they noticed I was coming along. And I did something kind of quirky that made them laugh. And somehow that kind of awareness drew me towards a situation where I could be doing something, real, and get feedback. That's about as far as that's going to go.
It's that first taste, and it sets you on. Mm-hmm. To me. Get that feedback. You, so obviously you went on. You were a part of that really fascinating time in theater history and acting history. You were in that scene. You worked with Sanford Meisner, and for our audience that doesn't know it, Meisner was basically the Yoda of acting coaches. So what was that experience like?
That was a big one. I was in 1960. You all know what I'm talking about. And I was, finishing high school, and I grew up about an hour's train ride outside of New York City, in Connecticut, and it was I'm going to go to New York and, get a job in the theater, because New York was the big place for theater. It kind of still is. And I went to, I'd hear things about two different acting schools. And I listened to how one was described and then how the other. And I made a choice of one of the two. It was called the Neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater. And there was a teacher there. His name was Sandy Meisner, who in his era and in his time, as an acting teacher or somebody who really understood theater or whatever, he was the guy to go to. He was extraordinary. An incredible teacher. Anyway, I was at a point before I started studying with him where I'd done some theater on a very low level, and sometimes I'd come out on an evening and just would feel so good because I felt every second I was in touch with the audience and me with them. Not to the distraction but that I just had it all working good. And then the next night, I didn't know where I was. I couldn't seem to get connected in a satisfying way. I felt I was acting badly, embarrassing. And so that was a problem I had. I went to this teacher, Sandy Meisner, and ultimately I came away, got that fixed.
He set you on the path like he did a lot of your peers.
What?
He set you on the path.
Yeah, he was just he taught in this school that I went to. He taught 2 acting classes a day, 3 hours each, and he was in his mid-60s. And at night he had a 3-hour class twice a week at night. And that's the class I went to because I finished the school. He wasn't there when I went to it, and I caught up with him in his kind of private class. And I think I'm losing track of what I was going to say. What?
They love you, like we all do.
Yeah. Anything else?
During that period, that era, before you crossed over into the other mediums, out of all the works you've done on stage during that early part of your career, what's the one show that still resonates with you?
Well, I got a role in a play. It was virtually a one-role play. And it was based on a real person somewhere in early of the century, whatever. this guy was found on a priest's doorstep. And he was, they estimated, about 25 years old. But he had no language. He did not understand anything. There was no sense that he'd ever, that he was born that day, because he was so out of it. And they kind of surmised back in the day that if you were an heir in a family, an aristocratic family, and they didn't want you to be the heir, you might spend your life in a dungeon, fed and, kept alive. But a life done with. And a German author recently, in the last 50 years, by the name of Peter Hanke, wrote this play about this person and fictionalized it as somebody who would have escaped or inadvertently gone from a completely isolated existence into, say, Times Square or anything present, and how that would play out. How would he cope and what would happen? Anyway, I did the play, and I connected and did it off-Broadway, and it was great because I was playing something that I felt I understood. I was able to convey that to the audience, and it was a great writing. Peter Hanke.
And there's another British writer that people are fond of named William Shakespeare. You've done several of his stuff over the years. Did the Scottish play with Christopher Walken. How was that experience? And by the Scottish play, I mean M.A.C. Yeah, right. You know what I'm talking about.
I missed something there. Yeah, Christopher Walken. An actor by the name of Peter Weller, I think, was in it. Carol Kane was in it. It was in 1973. And it was at Lincoln Center, a consequential theater. And there was a theater critic who could really be vicious. And he described the play. He saw it as a what the hell is it? Anyway, not nice. Right. But we had a ball, and it was a good production and a kind of unique production. Christopher Walken. You just didn't imagine him doing Shakespeare, but. Because he's so new, kind of guy. And he was great. He was great in it, and everybody else, it was cool.
What part did you play in that?
Banquo, yeah. And one little feature is somehow we started getting water pistols. Literally, somebody went out on stage with like a fluorescent water pistol one night, and we get each other back. It was ludicrous, but yeah, it made it fun.
Very nice. And when last we spoke, you were about to start a production of Lear. How did that go?
Oh, that was fabulous. How many of sort of familiar with King Lear. Great. I did a lot of Shakespeare when I was in my 20s, during that time, whatever. And I was in 20s and 30s before I started doing film. And I was in 3 different productions of Lear, playing different parts in it. And I had no thoughts of ever doing it until about 6 years or so ago. I just woke up the morning and said, hey, I'm old enough. Why not? So I got into a production of it, and I loved it. I loved it. And it was, an exciting production. I want to do it again. I do.
We want to see it.
Yeah. So,
Do you have a favorite? Is there a particular favorite of Shakespeare that you're fond of?
a favorite?
Yeah.
Besides Lear? I do wish that when I was younger, I had the whatever to do Hamlet. And I'm doing a reading of it at the beginning of September at a Shakespeare festival in Massachusetts, and I'm going to be Polonius, not Hamlet, but Polonius. But I'm looking at, he had such great soliloquies, speeches that he was talking out, thinking out loud, telling what's going on inside, and they're just fabulous. So even now, I'm going to do a reading of this play where we're going to still have the book in our hands, but sort of move around a little bit, get a flavor of it, see where it goes. Yeah.
That'd be. I look forward to that reading. Hopefully, it's might be recorded or published in some way. That would be delightful. Well, we'll see that with you. What's a perfect day for you?
That has a question that's never been asked before. What is a happy day?
Yeah. What's a perfect day for you? No, that's your perfect day.
That's a good point. Yeah. Being here.
There you go. See, whoever yelled that, you got a lot in common. There you go.
That's being here is not something I imagined some years. Well, I certainly not in my early years, or really. But what am I doing here? It's like, how did this happen?
Because we love you. I thought we said that earlier. Yeah. And
well, that's kind of mutual. Hey, you're because I'm here. Did I say that right?
yeah. to tiptoe around the other medium that we're not allowed to talk about, but I do ask this when everybody has one of these. Where do you keep your Emmy?
Where do I keep my Emmy?
Or Emmys, I should say.
It's in a shelf. There's an area which is kind of like a tight little office library area stuff, and they're up on that shelf.
There you go. That deserves it. What's a guilty pleasure of yours that you're willing to admit to for an all ages audience?
We won't be doing this again. Say what?
Plead the fifth, they're saying. You may plead the fifth. The Fifth Amendment.
What?
You may not answer that question on the grounds. It may incriminate you.
I didn't answer anything except now. So, where were we?
We were on to our next question. Okay. Actually, I'd like to switch over now to some of the questions that people sent in ahead of time. So here's one from Bobby S. I don't know if Bobby S. is out there, but what do you like to do to relax?
I like to read, work on a script. Sometimes I just want to go to the gym, which I do a lot. Yeah. I like driving. I like to drive. And she doesn't, don't tell me that's it.
No, we got more. Yeah. I was just getting out through. Here's one from Ian.
Oh, I like to work.
Yes.
I like to do what I do. Yeah.
Here's from Ian, who wants to know, how has your friendship with Michael J. Fox developed over the years? So obviously we can't talk about the movie, but we can talk about the friendship.
Huh? Yeah. Michael, I mean, he came in kind of by accident into Back to the Future. There was another actor cast in the role of Michael, and we were shooting for 6 weeks. That's a lot of shooting. And we were shooting in the Mill Valley shopping center mall.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. And we broke about 1 o'clock in the morning for dinner because we were all night shoot. And Spielberg was there. He wasn't there all the time, so what's going on? And then they said, after dinner, come over to such and such a spot. Want to make an announcement. And we all went on over there, and they announced that the actor who was playing Michael was going to be replaced by Michael J. Fox. And it was like, I didn't know nothing about this. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. It was, after 6 weeks shooting, that's a big change. Because everything for that 6 weeks would have to be reshot. It worried me a lot because I thought, I don't know if I could repeat what I did. I don't know if I could make it work a second time, and all that actor paranoia. So that was a big deal.
And the rest is history that we can't talk about because of the film. But yeah, there's a way too. But you still see each other at shows. Yeah, you still see each other at shows like these.
Yeah. And I love him. He is so extraordinary.
He is. Yeah.
So extraordinary. And he's done a film.
You can talk about it. You can talk about other people's work, and it is a fact. He's doing a project.
Yes.
He's doing a project, and we look forward to it, whatever it is.
Yeah. You'll hear about it.
You're good. What's on your next? You do that Shakespeare festival. Is there anything else on your immediate future you're allowed to discuss?
Well, that will be Shakespeare. It'll just be 5 days.
Yeah.
Kind of with a cast that's he's put together. And then what else?
Well, if there was anything else,
I can't be talking about what.
Right, if they're allowed to talk. Yeah, I know we're in an interesting time as way too. But we talked about the Shakespeare Festival. Well, then let me just say this then before we go, because I could say some of this and perhaps our audience. Mr. Lloyd, I thank you. I thank you for your talents. I thank you for your professionalism. And I thank you for the performances you have brought to all of your roles. You have made such a difference in our lives and our hearts. And thank you for that.
Thank you.